I think we're live. I'm pretty sure we're live. So, I'm new to how YouTube does this. So, however YouTube does this, I'm not 100% on. But I'm Matt of Matt and Lizzie Playthings, and it's 30 years of Mario. It's hard to believe. I woke up, this morning and I see the headline that says 30 years of Super Mario Brothers. I see we have a viewer. Welcome. So 30 years of Mario. I don't know. I was just shocked. I think I knew it, but I wasn't 100% until I saw it and I said, "Wow, 30 damn years." Now, of course, when I saw it, I said I was the big nerd who, they say 30 they said 30 years of Super Mario Brothers, and I said, being the annoying big nerd that I am, said, "Well, I guess, but technically it's technically 30 years already passed because of Donkey Kong. That's where he first appeared, but, whatever. Who cares, nerd? Shut up." But yeah, Lizzie's not with me. I don't know where she is. She might be playing Skyrim. Is she? No, she's not. So Lizzie's not here. I don't know where she is. But yeah, Lizzie's not, she's probably sleeping, actually. So, 30 years of Mario. Now, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Mario. We're going to talk about the origins of Mario, the impact that he had, all the games. We'll talk about our favorite Mario games. Maybe I'll play some Super Mario while we're streaming. He really, as everybody knows, he started in Donkey Kong. He was unnamed. He was not called Mario in Donkey Kong. He was Jumpman, and in that game, you were the little Mario guy, the little Jumpman, and that's what you did. You jumped. You would jump to save the princess, the big giant ape Donkey Kong who had kidnapped the princess, who was Peach. I don't remember if she was called Peach in the game. I'm pretty sure she wasn't at that time. I think she was just, random, whatever princess. And look where it led. I mean, you do Jumpman, where he's basically just the player character with no name, no personality, nothing to really speak of outside of the fact that he's a good jumper and he can wield a hammer pretty good, right? We know that. And it's funny because who would have thought you do Donkey Kong, you do Jumpman, 30 years later, you've got one of the biggest franchises ever of gaming, anything, any medium you want to talk about. It's one of the biggest things in the world. I would have to assume. What the? I just heard a sound. I would have to assume that. I would have to assume that Miyamoto and everybody who worked on Donkey Kong wasn't aware that they would do this little arcade game, and it would lead to this. That's the oddity of it. That Miyamoto and Mr. Miyamoto and everybody makes that game back in '81. Years later, 34 years later, I'm here on YouTube on a live stream talking about Mario that you were still talking about him 34 years later. Technically, I know it's 30 since that's September 13th, 2000, September 13th, 1985. That's when Super Mario came out on the Famicom. It came out, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later in the U.S. But even if you're just talking about Super Mario Brothers, who could guess that 30 years later we'd be talking about him? He'd have been involved in so many games over all those years, kart racers and puzzle games and role-playing games, and he's every Nintendo system that's come out. So the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, they've all had at least one big Mario game where you're like, that's a big game. That's a huge game. He's always, every console cycle that Nintendo has, you can count on the fact that Mario will be there. It may not be right away. As we know, it may not be right away, but it tends to happen pretty frequently after. Yeah, so we do have a viewer. I don't know who it is. Can I see who it is? No. I guess not. Well. Oh, chat. Show chat. Okay. So, anyhow, I'm losing track here. So yeah, those are sort of the beginnings, the humble beginnings of Mario. You know, it's sort of, you know, like I said, they create this game in 1985, and again, it's perfect timing, right? Because it came after the video game crash here in North America. You know, Atari and everybody else who was really dominating video games in the early 80s. Suddenly, E.T., that's a big factor. Everything that factors into the crash. Suddenly, Japan takes hold. They see the opportunity. They take a stranglehold on the market. They do Mario. Miyamoto does Mario, and it's a boom period. Games are hotter than ever. So at that point, things start rolling. Then Sega gets into it, then Sony gets into it, and here we are today in 2015. So it was really the perfect time to release the game, was 85. Right after the crash, you can really take advantage of people aren't wanting quick, cheap, dumb games anymore, like E.T. They're wanting something with a little more personality, a little more charm. Here comes Miyamoto. They put Mario together and just completely take over everything. And I gotta be honest with you guys. I was a Nintendo, a hopeless Nintendo fanboy as a young lad. You couldn't talk to me about anything but Nintendo. And that's during that time there was the great Sega Nintendo war. You know, when Sega and Nintendo were just completely butting heads with each other. And I was always the loyal soldier. I was loyal to Nintendo. I liked Sega, and I had a Genesis, in fact. But I was a Nintendo guy. I was completely loyal to Nintendo. If somebody would tell me, well, you like them both, but who do you like better, Sega or Nintendo? Before they would even finish, I would tell you Nintendo. Because they had, I mean, look, the thing is, they had all of that. They had, look at the franchises they had. Sega just, in my opinion at least, and a lot of people's opinions, Sega just couldn't keep up. I mean, they had great games. The Genesis has some amazing games, but they just couldn't keep up. They just can't. I mean, Nintendo has Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox. You can keep going. You can go on for days talking about the Nintendo games, the Nintendo franchises, the first party. I mean, they have had and maybe still have the best first party developers in history. And the funny thing is that, like I said, I was a Nintendo boy, growing up. But like a lot of fanboys, I was sort of swayed by Sony and by the PlayStation, and I was sort of, it was at that time where I was changing a lot, and my viewpoints were changing. Everything about me was sort of changing. And here comes Sony. They say they basically come along and say, here's a console for the grown-ups. Basically, is what they said. That's sort of how they marketed it. It's a cool system. It's the cool kid on the block. And they say, here, come over to our side. We got CD-based games. They have dialogue, and here's Metal Gear Solid, which has a gripping, dark, dramatic story. And here's here's a library. Here's Resident Evil. Here's a category. Here's a catalog of games that are way more mature than what you've been playing. And I tell you, I fell into it, as I think a lot of people did. I was the fanboy who was swayed by Sony. and sort of lured over by Sony. And that was sort of the beginning of the end of my relationship with Nintendo for a while. Because, like I said, Sony sways me over. I sort of drifted away, drifted apart from Nintendo. Nintendo kind of became secondary in my gaming habits. And I just didn't do anything with Nintendo for a long time. Just kind of was like, I don't know. It was strange. I mean, I still had a Nintendo 64 through that whole decade, and I still have mine somewhere around. So I was still a Nintendo fan, but I wasn't as rabid or ravenous about it as I was, throughout my childhood and most of my, I don't know, like maybe 11, 12, 13, whatever, however, I'm not good at math, so just don't ask me to do it. So yeah, Sony swayed me away, and I went over to the Sony side, the dark side, as some might say. And yeah, so my gaming habits just changed. And I was always a PC gamer. From the minute I had my first computer to where I'm sitting here today, I've always been a PC gamer. I've always been, I don't know if preferred, but it was always a avenue of gaming that I had a lot of admiration and love for. And what's hilarious is that for the past couple of years, I've been getting back into my relationship with Nintendo. And it all started, honestly, a couple of years ago at E3, when I saw, I don't remember what game it was specifically. It was Super Mario 3D, the one for the DS, the recent one. I saw that, and I said, wow, that looks great. So I ended up buying a 3DS and that game, and Zelda, and Ocarina of Time 3D. And that was like the beginning. It was like, wow, you've been kind of brushing Nintendo off for the past several years. I think the last big Nintendo purchase I made before I bought the 3DS was a GameCube. And I love the GameCube. That's like one of my favorite systems. That was really kind of the last one. I bought the GameCube, and then after that, it was like, oh, you're done with Nintendo, more or less. I mean, you kept up with them. In fact, this is how sad it is. I was so out of Nintendo and so out of that world, I didn't even play Skyward Sword. Yeah, that's how deep it went, that I didn't even play Skyward Sword, one of the biggest Zelda fanboys in the world. And I skipped a Zelda game. The only Zelda game I've ever skipped. I skipped it. I saw it. People were saying, oh, it's coming out on the Wii and it looks great. I played Twilight Princess and thought it was just a gorgeous game on every level. And then after that, I didn't play any Nintendo games. I would just play older Nintendo games, which was weird. But I was kind of out of Nintendo for a while. And again, like I said, so much that I skipped Skyward Sword. I skipped Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy, both of them. Yeah, I was way out of it for a long time. And then, like I said, I bought the 3DS, and it was like, wow, this is something. I started getting that old feeling back, where it was like, wow, here's Nintendo. That's something that you cherished as a child, and then, you leave it for a while, and then you come back, and it's like, wow, this is still just as fantastic as it was when I was younger. That's one of the things that I love about Nintendo personally, is that they have never backed down from their credo of all ages content and family-friendly content. And I know I'm like the guy, people like to say that, they like to get on me, they're like, oh, you're the guy who hates fun. I'm not the guy who hates fun. People think I hate fun. They have this in their head that I hate fun, and it's just not true. So to that end, it was like, playing. It was Super Mario 3D Land, I think is what it was called. Playing that, it's like, wow, this is what I loved. This is something I cherished as a kid. And it was one of the few times where I let nostalgia take over. Normally, I hate nostalgia, and I don't want anything really to do with nostalgia, because I feel like it clouds. I feel like with some people, not everybody, but with some people, I feel like nostalgia, it sort of clouds their vision, and they can't adjust to anything new. And for me, I kind of brush nostalgia away. I'm like, yeah, I like that, but whatever. It doesn't mean it's better than something today just because it's old. That's the way I look at it. So, you know, getting back into Nintendo and everything. So, yeah, I've been definitely my gaming habits have been shifting somewhat backwards, which is bizarre, but you know, what are you gonna do? So, man, what was I gonna talk about? I had a whole thing here where yeah. So, the trilogy, the Super Mario Brothers trilogy, which really was Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 2, we'll get to that more on that in a second, and Super Mario Brothers 3, which was the big trilogy on the Nintendo, the original NES. I should probably hook up some gameplay here. I don't even know if I can. I mean, now I can, but I need some waiting music or something. Some on-hold music. I don't know if I can, I don't know who that viewer is. It says I have one viewer. One watching. I don't know who that is. It doesn't tell me, or does it? Can I click and see? No. Yes, I don't know. I gotta tell you, I'm somewhat new to live streaming, so if I'm doing something wrong, I'm not aware of it. I mean, I've watched a lot of live streams, but never done one. I mean, I have, but it was the one we did. Well, Lizzie and I did one actually a couple months back where we played Trine 2, or was it Trine? I can't remember. We played one of those things. One of those Trine games. I don't remember which one. Okay, so September. Yeah, so we have one viewer. I don't know who it is. It's a mystery guest. It's a mystery. So I think we're gonna try to queue up some gameplay here for Super Mario, just to get, just to get it in the spirit. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get some Super Mario Brothers here. If we can get this going. I think this is being seen. I'm not sure. I think it is, so. Alright. Oh. I'm good at this. Okay. It's been a while. Alright. Probably the old way of doing it. Old lady way of doing it, I guess. Oh. There we go. Now there's a lot of Alright, see if we can make it on the first try. Oh! I was watching the game trailers thing yesterday about jumping the flagpole. Can I, mixer, please? Is that just a touch? Ah. Yeah, so I was watching the game trailers thing the other day about, whoops. Come on. About, jumping the flagpole. That you can jump over the flagpole. Which, as long as I've... Oh, no, look out! As long as I've played Mario, I actually never knew you could do that. Until I saw that video. Oh no! Look out! Come on. Get up there. Now, I may forget some things. Oh! Like that. I am pushing my luck here. Come on. Whew. Oh, okay. Oh! Oh, my goodness. Okay. Here we go. I did it again. Oh, shake it off. One life left. There we go. There we go. Alright. Welcome to the warp zone. Oh, this is that. Yeah, this is that guy. I hate this guy. I'll die here, trust me. Get it! I think one of those has firepower, but I don't have time for it. Can you get on this? No. You get on one. Oh, look out! Oh, get out of here. Firepower in one of these? I know there's only one of them. Maybe not. I lied. I apologize for lying. Oh! I almost ran right off. Yeah, there he is. I didn't do that. Okay. Oh! Almost made it. Look out. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. Where's it gonna go? Oh. Damn it. Game over. Well, there you go. That was fun. So, what was I talking about before I got distracted by pretty lights? Oh yeah, the trilogy. So the Super Mario Brothers trilogy, which was on the original Nintendo, you had Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, which is an interesting story. And then Super Mario Brothers 3, which many people, including myself, still consider to be the best Mario game to date. Still to this day, I think it's the best Mario game, and I would agree. It's hard to rank them. I didn't actually rank them. I probably should have before we started. I didn't actually rank them, but I probably should have. So, people on Twitter saying things. Yeah, so you had the trilogy. You had Super Mario Brothers, which is still to this day one of the most. I mean, you saw me playing it. It's just. It's something more than a game. That game. That's the game is something more than a game. It's just something. It's almost. When you play it, man, it's almost spiritual. I mean, it really is. It's almost like. It's almost. It's muscle memory. I mean, it really is. You saw me when I was, oh, don't forget your one up there in the first level there. It's muscle memory. I mean, you've played these games as much as we all have. You just get that ingrained in your mind. It just really is just like, you can't forget it. And I couldn't forget any of that stuff, even if I tried. Even if I was telling somebody, make me forget, I could never forget. So it's one of those special games I think that exists. It's really more than pixels at this point. It's really something that's sort of ingrained into the hearts and minds of every person who was young enough or old enough to. That's the best thing about it. Young enough or old enough. You don't have to be young. You don't have to be old to play Mario. You can be any age. And that's. Look, I love the new games, the violent shooters and the dark stuff. Something like BioShock or whatever. But I also like these kinds of games. I like, I'm a gamer first and foremost, and so for me, it's all about that. And I don't care if it's a dark game, if it's a violent game, if it's a happy game, if it's this game, whatever. If it's fun to play, I'm there. So it's the original Super Mario, which is really the reason that this live stream is even happening. Like I said, it's more than a game. It's muscle memory. It's encoded into your brain. Knowing that 1-up mushrooms are on the first level, it's somewhere deeper. I don't know where it is. It may be even somewhere deeper than the heart. It's somewhere. Maybe it's in your spirit. It's in your soul. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere deeper than just. Oh well, where that trick is in the game. So Super Mario 2. I love the story about Super Mario 2 that they're like. They how did it go? They made a game. It was Doki Doki Panic in Japan, right? I can't remember how it goes now. They'd made a game called Doki Doki Panic, right? And then shit, I can't remember how it goes now. Fuck, it was something like they made Doki Doki Panic. And then it was like Oh man, your lunch. You're probably getting. Hang on, I just got distracted. Probably getting a Fantastic Four sequel, whether we want one or not. Well, I want one. Yeah, I'm the guy that liked the movie. So what? What do you? What's it to you? So. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, Super Mario Bros. 2 was Doki Doki Panic. It was brought over to here as Super Mario 2. They reskinned it and did all kinds of work to it to make it look different, to make it look like a Mario game, and then took it back over to Japan. I think later that year as Doki Doki again, which was hilarious. And, I don't know. Super Mario 2 gets a lot of flack. Gets a lot of shit put on it, but I actually like Super Mario 2. I know it's I know it's weird, and in fact, I might as well play it, So, yeah, I know it gets a lot of shit from people because they're it's weird, and it is weird, but I still love it. Yes, I love this game. I don't know. It's cool. It's really weird. It's really bizarre, I know. And it is bizarre, I mean. Oh, look out. Now I use B to pick stuff up, I think. Yep. Oh. Ah, shit. There we go. Getting back in the groove here. It's a little, It's a little hard to get used to it, though, because... That's the thing, too. When you jump on enemies, they don't just, they don't die, they... you actually land on them. Oh yeah, shell. Oh no, 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 no. Is there a door there somewhere? Yeah, I think there is. Hidden door. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not hidden at all. It's got a great score, too. Oh yeah, these doors. That's what I was thinking of. Oops. Now. Can you just run under him? Ooh, look out. I think... Is this Birdo in this first level? I think... I'm pretty sure it is. Look out. I think if you go up to the middle one, it's... Oh yeah. Yeah, I think this is Birdo. Gotta catch the eggs when they come out. Like that. Whoa! Oh no! Look out! Shit. Shoot one. And like every boss ever, 3 hits and you're done. There we go. Bonus chance. No bonus. Well, whatever. Oh! I did it again. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. Yeah, I'll continue. Oh, we're starting over at the beginning. Lovely. Well, that's alright. Don't have to worry about that. Oh boy. I'm in a hurry to get to where I was. Let's take him with us. He just gets right back up. Oh! I don't know how I got out of that one. I remember when I was a kid when I played this, I was obsessed with getting... Hang on, you can go back. I was obsessed with getting over there. I wanted to get over there so bad. I was like, I want to get over there. And yeah, I never could figure out a way how. Obviously you can't. Oh yeah. Maybe somebody knows how you get over there. Pretty sure you can't though. Alright. Whoops. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, Birdo. You're done. Whoops. Oh, I did it again. There we go. Oh, come on. Dodging. There we go. Alright, back to where we were. Oh, these guys are annoying. Hmm. I don't remember what to do here. Do you have to get their carpet or something? Apparently not. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do there. That's alright. So, yeah, so like I said, a lot of people say Super Mario 3 is the best, and I would tend to agree. I think it is the best still. I know that's like you live in a post, you live in a post Super Mario Galaxy world, it's post Super Mario 3D Land world, but I don't know. There's just something joyously simple about 3. It's something that the others, just don't have. There's something very pure about it. Something about it that's not in any of the others. I'm not sure what that is. It's something really simple, and it just plays perfectly. It looks gorgeous. I know Super Mario World is everybody's like, that deserves to be number 1. Probably does. But I still like 3. I still think 3 is the best one. Oops. So, yes, you had the trilogy on the NES. You had Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3. I don't think at that time anybody was making games consistently good, as consistently great then as Nintendo was with Mario. Because, I mean, they were doing... Super Mario was just a masterpiece. Super Mario Bros. 2 is a weird oddity that's, like, very bizarre. But it's like... but it's like, it's... Like I said, I have a sort of a fondness for it. But 3... I mean, 3 is just... It's a whole other level. I mean, the platforming's perfect. The music is perfect. The control is incredibly fluid. It's got the most inventive level design of all the games. I will stack any Mario game, even Galaxy. I will stack any Mario game up against 3 for having the best level design. I'll even stack 64 up against it. I pick a Mario game, I'll stack it up against it. Super Mario 3 is better. And I'm not just saying that because it's, the wingsuit and you get to fly. I know that's like shallow. It's like some people are so shallow. They're like, I like it just because of the flying, which is fine, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. I still think that 3 is the best Mario game that there is. And I know we're here technically because of Super Mario Brothers, but may as well just make it an all Mario, all Mario all the time extravaganza. Yeah, so, not to get off topic, but a Fantastic Four sequel. That just reminds me of what they called, the stupid, the stupid, what was it? It was the Chipmunks thing. Where they would do the stupid sequels, was the live-action Chipmunks thing. When they would do those stupid sequels, they would have puns in the title, so they would do Chipmunks 2, Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, the Squeakquel, or they would do excuse me, or they would do Chipwrecked. So I don't know why that reminded me of it, but yeah, Fantastic Four sequel. I guess that's happening. I like the movie. I like the recent movie, but that's just because I'm not the FF guy. I'm not the Fantastic Four guy, so I don't have any. I don't have any dog in the hunt, so somebody says, oh, it's crap, I'm like, I don't know, I'm not the FF guy, so I don't really have, like a vendetta against it or something. It's not like Transformers or whatever. But now, after Super Mario kind of dominated the Nintendo with the trilogy, and then it dominated even more the Super Nintendo with Super Mario World, which I know people are like, that's the best Mario game. Maybe it is, technically, but I still like 3 better. But look, no doubt about it, Super Mario World is one of the greatest games of all time. I wouldn't say anything bad about Super Mario World. I have nothing bad to say about Super Mario World. It's gorgeous and fun and exciting and thrilling, and I adore it, but I just like 3 better. So I wouldn't say anything negative about World at all. I love World. The thing is with World is that it's really just the perfection of a lot of things that were started in 3. So the flying and a lot of things that were sort of introduced in 3. I'll give World this much credit. A lot of things that were introduced in 3, World comes along and really kind of perfects all of it and says, here's everything that we did in the World. Let's make it like 10 times better. We'll perfect everything. So, and there's this crazy videos too where people are like beating World in like 5 minutes or something. Or they use some weird glitch to, I don't know, it's strange. Like, they do glitches where, I don't even know what the hell is going on, how they do that, but they basically trigger, somehow, the ending of the game to start. They trigger the ending to start. Some weird glitch in the first level or something. It's very bizarre stuff. The thing is, while they're doing this, I'm like, I'd rather just be playing the game than, trying to glitch it to the ending. Because that's the thing, the gameplay in these Mario games are so sublime that I could just play them. I mean, I don't even, I don't know. It's weird. It's strange when people do that. I'm kind of confused by it, but it's cool. Now, like I said, once they sort of dominated on the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo with Mario and the Mario trilogy and the Super Mario World, then we moved on to Super Mario 64. And I think Super Mario 64, I remember, as I'm sure most people do, excuse me, when Super Mario 64 came out, it was, I mean, dude, it was, I'd never, it's like, because I was watching the game trailers retrospective the other day of Grand Theft Auto, where Grand Theft Auto started in this top-down perspective. Suddenly, here comes GTA 3 2001. Suddenly, we're down behind Claude in a fully 3D with a fully 3D camera, and it just changed everything. That feeling is the same type of feeling when you're playing. You as a Nintendo boy, as I was, and a lot of kids were. You play Nintendo games all the time. They were always 2D. It was always side-scrolling. You were always sort of watching the action from the side view as you made your way across the level. Here comes Super Mario 64. Suddenly, the camera is down behind Mario. It's completely 3D. You have this free-roaming world where you're able to just run around Peach's castle. It's because it's just one of those, whoa things. It's like, it sounds so weird to say now, because it's like, people who maybe didn't necessarily grow up with Mario, but people who were just not aware of it. It's crazy how insanely cool that was. People don't think about that these days because they're like, oh, whatever. There's tons of 3D adventure action platform games. So of course there are. But there weren't that many back then. And suddenly, wow, you got the camera behind Mario. You're following him. You're in complete control of him with the 64 controller, which I've heard a lot of people hate the 64 controller, which that's news to me. I always thought it was a fine controller, but I guess people hated it. I didn't even know that. I heard that recently. They're like, oh, the hated 64 controller. I'm like, was it really hated? I thought it was okay. Yeah, I like the 64 controller. Yeah, so it's, it doesn't seem like much now, considering you have, like I said, living in a post-Galaxy world where in those games you do have complete control of Mario. It doesn't seem like much now. I get that, but at the time, it was like nothing we'd ever seen. Because like I said, we'd seen Mario one way, and that was side-scrolling. Suddenly, this whole new world opened up, and we're like, how, I don't know how to comprehend this. And, and in fact, in a long time, you don't know how to comprehend it. You're just like, huh? It's just wild. It was wild. It was a wild scene, man, back then. Now I think I'm looking up something here. There's another anniversary coming up, I think, for another franchise that I adore with all of my heart. Yeah, so the 30th anniversary of Zelda is next year. It's 2016. On yeah, 2016. Yeah, 86. That was when the first one came out. So, wow. That is wild. Yeah, so February of next year, February 21st, we'll do a 30th anniversary for Zelda as well. That's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. So two great franchises two gaming franchises that I have just, so much admiration for, so much love for. Those are, what's this? Oh, I'm getting a Facebook thing. Oh, yeah, my friend Mike, he's saying if he was home, he'd be here. Yeah, big shout out to my buddy Mike. I don't know if he's at work or wherever he is, but we'll let him know that we're gonna be on for another, I don't know, half hour or so, maybe. And if not, he can listen to the archived version. Yeah, so what was I talking about? Super Mario 64. Yeah, it was a revolution. It really was. And it was televised and all that, so it was, and it's still, again, I talked about this. The one thing you can always go back to with these Mario games is the gameplay. You can always go back to that. It never fails. The gameplay, it's always there. It will always work. There's a reason that Mario games have there's a reason that they have such sort of, truncated stories. Bowser kidnaps Peach, Mario goes to save her. There's a reason for that, because you don't need a story, because the gameplay is so strong and so sharp and so, it's so sublime that it doesn't matter that there's like zero story. Which is why I always liked when they would do, weird stuff like Paper Mario, which did have a kind of more deliberate story than the others. I always thought that was cool. That's why I like Paper Mario. And The Thousand Year Door is it's strange. Thousand Year Door is like the most un-Mario game there is, but it's still one of my favorite Mario games, just because it's different. I mean, it's way different from any of the other games. It's completely different. It's completely committed to, like, it's not like the deepest story in the world. I know it's not like, it's not like Metal Gear Solid 2 or something where it's like, oh, it's just complex and stuff. It's not, and it certainly isn't really complex, but it's interesting. I think it's an interesting story. I like when they do different stuff with the characters. Because I like, I like that the fact that the next Zelda game, Zelda U, is going to be different than pretty much every other Zelda game. Now, I know probably it'll obviously feel the same once you get into it, but I think the gamepad is just going to change everything. Because I suspect that you'll have the. I know I'm going on a rant about Zelda, but you'll have the game the game world up on the TV, but then you'll have your inventory. What you normally have to get into with the controller. You'll have it all down there on your gamepad, so you can we all know the horrors of switching to the iron boots in the in the water temple so you could sink, and that's awful, and nobody should have to deal with that in their life. You don't need that negativity in your life. So I know that it's a nightmare, and it is, and it was back then, and it is today. To get into the inventory, switch to the iron boots, get back to the inventory, switch them off. It's annoying, and it's just not fun, and it's not even cool. It's not even nice. It's not fair. It's not human. It's monstrous. It's sick. That's what I like about the next Zelda game, is that they're hopefully going to try some different things, a bigger open world. I don't know what Onuma and everybody else on the Zelda team has in mind necessarily. I don't know, but I think it's going to be fantastic to see. Yeah, so I'm just telling him that. Okay. Wait a minute, what's this? Oh, you know what? I should have paid attention to this. Okay. Sorry. Had to get that settled there. Okay. Just telling Mike that it'll be. I think it will be. I think I saw that before I went on. YouTube says once you're done, it'll archive to your channel. I think is what they said. So hopefully that'll do that. What the heck was I talking about? I have no idea. I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about something. Anyhow. Paper Mario. That's it. Yeah. So Paper Mario, I mean, I like Paper Mario a lot, just 'cause it's different. I mean, I like when they do different stuff, and that's that was one of my complaints, and maybe subconsciously it was one of the reasons I was so quick to leave Nintendo back then, was that they were kind of resting on their laurels a little bit. They were kind of just making the same Mario game and over again. And they weren't really doing much else with them. And that may have been part of the reason I decided to take a leave of absence, so to speak. I don't want to say that was the whole reason, but it might have been. It might have been, so. Yeah, so I like when they do different stuff with it, and with all their franchises, and I still wish they'd not let Metroid die on the vine as long as they do, but and I even like Super Mario Sunshine. I know that's like the black sheep of the Mario family, but I don't even care. I love Super Mario Sunshine. It's like people hate that game, and I mean they just you bring up Super Mario Sunshine to the right person, if they had the opinion of it that I'm talking about, they will just seethe and rage, you know, go nuts, just like, it's horrible. And I'm like, I don't get why it's so hated, and I still to this day don't understand why it's as hated as it is. I really don't. I don't understand it. It's just bizarre to me that Mario is that Sunshine rather is as, I don't know. It's strange. I find it odd that it's hated. It just, I don't understand it. To me. And, I don't get it because, I don't know, it's like people, it's weird because both Zelda and Mario had polarizing games on the same system. Around the same time, they had polarizing games on the same system. Because I think people were expecting a different... Maybe people were just expecting a different game, a different Mario game on the GameCube. Because this was the first system after the 64. It was clear what the GameCube was capable of, which was a lot more than the 64. It was clear it was capable of producing some really amazing stuff. And the Mario game that we got wasn't what anybody was expecting, but that's what I liked, that it wasn't what you expected. And same with Zelda. They do that Space World footage, that Space World 2000 footage, which shows the really realistic-looking Link and Ganon fighting, and then we get the Wind Waker, which is another game that's really hated, but I think is just fantastic, and I will fight to the death to defend it. Same with Sunshine. It's strange that they both had games on the same console that were completely divisive. Most everybody will agree that Ocarina of Time is awesome. Most everybody will agree that Super Mario 64 is awesome. Most everybody will agree that A Link to the Past is awesome. You get where I'm going. Super Mario Sunshine, completely divided. You either love it, or you hate it so much that you wish you could physically murder it. With Wind Waker, same deal. And again, I don't know. It's strange. I don't follow it. I don't get it. Because I love Super Mario Sunshine. I don't care how unpopular it is. I don't care. Yeah, so like I said, I was so out of Nintendo for a while that I didn't, that I skipped both Galaxy games, and I skipped, Skyward Sword. So, and I'm, next year I am getting, or sometime, I'm not sure. I do plan to get a Wii U just because, I'm getting back into Nintendo now, and so I'm gonna get a Wii U, and I'll pick up Skyward Sword and both the Galaxy games. But one thing that's happening now with Mario that I guess brings us kind of close to the end here is Mario Maker. I remember when I first saw Mario Maker, I thought, how come we didn't think of this before? How come nobody thought of this before? What an amazing idea it is to create that, to get, basically take all the power of like every Mario game, not every Mario game, but some of them, the power of at least the trilogy and Super Mario, the new Super Mario, those GameCube or Wii games, whatever they were, new Super Mario Brothers, taking the power of all those and basically just giving it to the players and saying, you make the courses now. And I'm seeing the cool stuff people are doing. I'm just blown away. Somebody I saw on Facebook via Zelda Informer, somebody recreated the entire first dungeon from Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, in Mario Maker. And I'm like, that's amazing. It's like Minecraft almost, where you see... It's like Minecraft, where I think the average Minecraft player, when they play Minecraft, it takes them like 6 months to build a basic house. And they're like, look what I built. and then they look over and somebody has built like the entirety of Midgar from Final Fantasy VII, and you're like, I feel really inadequate as a Minecraft player sometimes because I see what stuff people do, and I'm like, oh man, these guys are crazy. It might be different with Mario Maker because it may be a little more intuitive and a little more user friendly. I'm sure it is since it's Nintendo. It may be a little more user friendly than Minecraft, or at least that's the hope. I think that's what I hope for. So I don't know, Mario Maker. It's really a brilliant idea, and when I see the footage of it, when I first saw it, I'm like, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable, and that's brilliant. And that's honestly one of the reasons I want to get a Wii U. Aside from the fact that I'm just getting back into Nintendo in general, that's one of the reasons I want to get a Wii U is because of Mario Maker. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love the amiibo support too. The fact that you can have like the Wii Fit trainer and all these, different characters. Who are all the amiibos that they have that work in Mario? I can't remember now. Mario Maker, that is. Because they have it where you can, if you take the amiibo and put it onto the gamepad, you can then basically change Mario's costume. I think it only works if it's in the Super Mario Brothers, configuration. No, I don't think it works in 2 or 3 or whatever. Oh yeah, and you can there was a list. Yeah, there was a list of amiibos that would, because if you're in the Super Mario configuration, it'll, if you put the amiibo on, you can basically configure it where, say you put, oh gosh, I'm even blanking on the characters now. Oh, like Link, for example. So if you have a Link amiibo, you can change the sprite for Super Mario Brothers to Link, or like Dr. Mario or something. Yeah, Dr. Mario, Meta Knight Pit, Dark Pit, yeah, Mega Man, Samus, Zero Suit, Samus, yeah, that's looking at this list now. Oh, there's a Zelda one. Oh, you can do Zelda too. Yeah, Zelda, Ganondorf, Sheik, Tingle, Toon Link, Ness from Earthbound. Oh yeah. Speaking of Earthbound. Oh yeah, Captain Falcon, Digby, Cyrus, yeah. Little Mac, Fox, Falco, Slippy, Peppy Hair, Walker. Neki the Fox. Who's Neki the Fox? Neki? Oh, Famitsu. Neki. Yeah. The Famitsu mascot. I should make a Neki game. I'd play it. I'd play it. Oh yeah, so I saw Ness from Earthbound. It reminded me. Wouldn't be complete without talking about Mr. Iwata. passing away recently, which was, and they've named his replacement. His name escapes me. I don't know him that well, but yeah, Mr. Iwata. It was really, really unfortunate. Really a sad day when that happened. You know, a lot of people, the way I talk about Mario, the way I talk about Zelda, you know, the way I talk about Metal Gear, Final Fantasy, that's the way some people talk about Earthbound, which of course Mr. Iwata worked on. And Earthbound is, that's a, you know, that's a milestone, Earthbound, and it's really, uh, it's really unfortunate that Mr. Iwata is. I mean, he's, you know, it's, you know, you never want to hear that, you know, you never want anybody to die, you know, but I think Mr. Iwata can definitely rest a lot easier knowing that he made an impact, and that we all loved him, and that we all remember him, and we will keep remembering him. And you know, the Nintendo Directs, they're not going to be the same anymore. They may not even do them. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Well, they did one after he died, I think. Maybe they didn't. I can't remember. Did they do one after he died? I don't recall. Maybe not. But like I said, he's, you know, he'll be remembered. He's not a guy that the industry will ever forget. Without him, some of us wouldn't be here. Some of us played Earthbound, and that was the reason we became gamers. I've played it, but it wasn't the reason. But I know for some people, it's their, you know, rosebud, I guess you'd say. It's their source. It's their gateway drug. It's for a lot of people. You know, not just a couple folks who like Earthbound. A lot of people really love Earthbound. And, you know, if it wasn't for Mr. Iwata's work on that, I don't know if they would have become, you know, as much ingrained into this industry as they are. So, big shout out to Mr. Iwata. We love you, Iwata, and we'll miss you. Oh yeah, they're talking about this super, or this TV network for Nickelodeon for these '90s kids. Yeah, the Splat. Oh, they confirmed it? Is this confirmed? The Splat? Is that... Oh my god. Yeah. I guess this is real. I don't know. Yeah, so apparently there's a... Nickelodeon is doing a new TV network. I guess that'll run old Nick shows? So Rugrats and Hey Arnold and Doug and all that 90s animation domination. I don't know if they're going to run the live action shows, though. I guess this is real. I thought it was just a rumor. I guess it's real, though? Just look it up here. Splat. Ah. So it's... Oh, so it is all the shows. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's a. Oh yeah, there's a whole YouTube channel about it. Wow.
On the Lord, Nick, Nick. On the Lord, Nick, 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 Nick. On the Ricky Ticky Low while living #1 Nickelodeon. I'm here with my friends. Nickelodeon. The song
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I guess all the Nick shows. So you're talking all the Nicktoons, all the live action shows too, so Clarissa and Pete and oh man. That's wild. Huh. Interesting. So, oh yeah, they're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, Tumblr, Vine, Pinterest. Some of these I have to. It's like, this is how you know you're getting a little bit older, when some of the things you have to hover over, you're like, what's this? Instagram. That's what the kids are using. Kids are into Instagram. So, well, I think that probably about wraps us up. So yeah, that'll probably wrap us up. Let me go ahead and come to a close here. You know, we've had... I don't know if that's actually me. That might be me, the one viewer. I don't know if they count me or what. But, either way, if you have been listening, or you will listen, I think it archives itself on the channel later. I appreciate it. I appreciate hanging out with me, talking about Mario, talking about, you know, Nintendo. We'll do this again, maybe. So yeah, that's gonna wrap us up here. We'll do this again. We'll definitely do it in February for the Zelda 30th anniversary. Might have more to talk about then, considering. Well, I mean, you know, more to talk about in terms of Zelda, if we have news about Zelda U, which I hope we do by then. I hope we have a title. I keep calling it Zelda U. But anyhow, that is gonna wrap us up here. I appreciate you coming by. If you came by, if you listened, if you were listening to the archive version, which, like I said, I think it archives. I'm not sure. Whichever way you happen to listen, I appreciate it. So, yeah, that's gonna do it. If that is a viewer, if it's not just me, I appreciate you coming by. Definitely come next time if you happen to see it. Maybe we'll do just a live stream. We're actually playing instead of just talking, just jawing for an hour and 30 minutes or whatever, hour and 23 minutes. So, until next time, I've been Matt. This has been the Matt and Lizzie Play Things live stream talking about 30 years of Super Mario, and we will see you on the next one.